When millions of viewers watch Hugh Jackman belt out The Greatest Show in the hit musical film The Greatest Showman, they're witnessing one of Hollywood's most successful original musicals in recent history. But what they don't know is that the movie almost never happened, and the man who saved it has been all but forgotten. This is the story of Jeremy Jordan, the Broadway star who stepped in at a critical moment to rescue a faltering production, only to be written out of its history when the cameras started rolling. Back in 2016, The Greatest Showman was in trouble. The $84 million musical about P.T. Barnum's rise to fame was struggling to get final approval from 20th Century Fox executives. In Hollywood, original musicals are considered risky bets, and studio heads needed convincing that this one was worth the gamble. The film's fate came down to a single high-stakes presentation, a live performance of the key musical numbers for the studio's top brass and the financial backers. If the songs fell flat, the movie would be shut down. If they soared, the production would get the green light to proceed. There was just one problem. Hugh Jackman, the film star, was recovering from vocal surgery and couldn't sing a note. It was the worst possible timing, recalls a production insider who witnessed the behind-the-scenes drama. The entire movie was hanging by a thread, and our lead actor couldn't make a sound. We needed a miracle. That miracle came in the form of Jeremy Jordan, a Tony-nominated performer known for his powerful voice and roles in shows like Newsies and Bonnie and Clyde on Broadway. Jordan had the vocal chops to deliver the film's demanding songs, but he too was facing a challenge. He had come down with a severe cold that left his voice raspy and strained. To make matters worse, the production didn't have the money in the budget to fly Jordan in for the presentation. For most performers, this combination of obstacles would have been enough to walk away. Instead, Jordan did something extraordinary. He bought his own plane ticket. But this wasn't just about believing in the project. Jordan saw this as his shot at everything he'd been working towards. He understood the dynamics perfectly. Hugh Jackman was the box office draw, not necessarily the world's greatest vocalist, but the star power the studio needed. The rest of the cast would have to be amazing actors and singers to carry the musical weight. And there was a role that hadn't been cast yet: Philip Carlyle, Barnum's young wealthy business partner. Jordan knew he'd be perfect for it. This could be the life-changing break he'd been grinding for. A major Hollywood musical meant a 6- or 7-figure payday, money that would lift him, his wife, and their new child out of the financial uncertainty that defined most performers' lives. But more than money, this could be the springboard that would transform his career from a working actor's grind into the show business life he'd always imagined. The kind of role that opens doors, gets you meetings, changes everything. Jeremy believed in the project so much he paid his own way to be there, says a musician who worked on the demo. He was sick as a dog, but he showed up anyway. That doesn't happen in Hollywood. On the day of the presentation, Jordan stepped onto the makeshift stage along other cast members. Despite his illness, he delivered a performance so powerful that it left executives speechless. His rendition of From Now On was particularly moving, capturing the raw emotion and hope that would later make the song an international hit. His voice soared, something magical happened. The entire room became energized. People began singing along, tears streaming down faces as Jeremy's voice transported everyone present. Even Hugh Jackman, who wasn't supposed to sing at all due to his vocal surgery, couldn't help but join in, feeling the almost spiritual inspiration of the moment. In the midst of the room joyfully singing together, Hugh raised his hand and high-fived Jeremy, a spontaneous, genuinely honest moment where Hugh recognized that Jeremy was a rare talent, a spark and soul that the production needed and was lucky to have. Impressed by what they'd seen, studio executives gave The Greatest Showman the green light. Production could move forward. The movie was saved. Jeremy's performance that day was the reason this movie exists, states a choreographer who worked on both the demo and the final film. Without him stepping in for Hugh, there would be no Greatest Showman, period. Jordan had done everything he could and hit a home run. The producers loved him, and he could sense there was going to be a conversation about getting him involved in the actual production. As he was packing up his things, feeling the electricity of a mission accomplished, he heard Hugh Jackman's voice in the hallway, animated and excited on his phone. Yes, this is perfect," Jackman was saying. When Hugh hung up and turned around, his face lit up with the news. Zac Efron agreed to play Philip. The room erupted in cheers and hugs. The final piece of the casting puzzle had fallen into place. Jordan just smiled, shook hands with everyone, grabbed his backpack, and silently, unnoticed by the celebrating crowd, left the building and headed home. Once filming began, Jordan's crucial contribution quickly faded into the background. When The Greatest Showman premiered in December 2017, Jordan's name was nowhere to be found, not in the credits, not in the promotional materials, not in the countless interviews about the film's journey to the screen. While Jordan's voice helped secure the film's future, Jackman earned a reported $10 million for his role as P.T. Barnum, and Efron commanded his own substantial fee for Philip Carlisle, the role Jordan had dreamed of playing. The movie went on to gross more than $435 million worldwide, becoming one of the most commercially successful movie musicals of all time. Its soundtrack spent multiple weeks at the top of the charts, eventually going platinum several times over. It's one of those Hollywood ironies, notes a veteran casting director. The person who saves the day doesn't always get the glory. Sometimes they don't even get acknowledged. Jordan himself has remained gracious about the experience. Though he's never been publicly celebrated for his contribution to The Greatest Showman, he has continued to build a successful career, appearing in the CW's Supergirl, starring in Broadway productions, and developing a loyal following for his concert performances. When asked about his involvement with the film during a theater workshop years later, Jordan was characteristically humble. "Sometimes you do things because you believe in the project," he reportedly told the group. "You can't always expect recognition." The story of Jeremy Jordan and The Greatest Showman reveals the often unseen side of Hollywood magic, the contributions that get edited out of the final narrative. For every star whose name appears on a movie poster, there are dozens of talented people whose crucial work remains invisible to audiences. In a film celebrating the showmanship of P.T. Barnum, who famously said, "The noblest art is that of making others happy," there's a certain irony that one of the most important contributors was left behind the curtain. Jordan's voice may have been the one that convinced executives to take a chance on The Greatest Showman, but it's Jackman's that audiences hear when they watch the film. So the next time you listen to the soaring melodies from The Greatest Showman, remember that somewhere in the background is the phantom voice of Jeremy Jordan, the man who for one crucial performance was truly the greatest showman. Dreaming of Disney but worried about the cost? Meet Just the Essential Disney Hacks. This compact guide is your ticket to a magical vacation without the villainous price tag. Learn insider tips on saving money on everything from tickets to meals. Discover how to maximize fun while minimizing your expenses. Don't let budget fears keep you from creating unforgettable family memories. Get Just the Essential Disney Hacks today and start planning the Disney trip you've always wanted at a price you can afford.